What I want is make sure that I can get access to my service anywhere, anytime, from any device. And you were talking about the Wall Street Journal, where they were saying, if you have this fancy iPad but you cannot access your data, there's nothing you can do, you'd rather have a flip chart. But what's happening with the millennium generation coming up with an iPad, they're demanding the IT organization to support these new devices. And you have a lot of new programs with bring your own device, BYOD, where the IT department has to do something because cloud enables the end user to bypass the IT organization and maybe get access to backup systems, what have you. So it is important for the enterprise to really recognize what cloud brings and leverage all the benefits that we talked about. I think a big one is agility. With cloud, as with the example of Kia here, you can really find out, is it something that will work or not? Should I invest and eventually spend thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in my own private cloud, or maybe should I try first with a public cloud solution? There's a lot of different clouds, private, public, hybrid, which is a mix of both. You can really use those to your best advantage. You can test, for example, for a gaming company, you can test how the game will work. And once you find out, you pass the high, and you settle with certain threshold, with certain number of VM or resources that will be needed, you can decide to move that after to your own private cloud. Because what's happening between private and public and hybrid cloud, which one should you use? It's like cars. You can either buy a car, or you can lease, or you can rent. With cloud, it's pretty much the same thing. You will only rent your virtual machine from the service provider, like you rent a car when you need it for a certain small amount of time. Otherwise, it makes more sense to have your own cloud capability. So what's important is eventually evolve the cloud to be able to provide burst capacity, to be able to provide more flexibility with that hybrid model. I see other advantage of cloud with access to enhanced applications. We're talking about UPS before. You have these large companies that have these tremendous IT departments. They have the money and the resources to build some specific application to fit their needs. But on the other hand, you have a lot of small, medium businesses that cannot do that, but would benefit from having a system that can tell them where's the best customers, what is the inventory in my truck, what will I need. Cloud will give access to these new technologies to a vast majority of enterprises, because a cloud provider will give them the ability, you just get, that's what we call software as a service, just get these resources, these applications from me, you don't have to worry about all the issues. But definitely believe cloud, we're just scratching the surface right now. Alcatel-Lucent, like Matthieu Siemens, we are maybe more focused on the network, or we're trying to find out how the network can help the cloud. And what you will see is that you will have an evolution from data center, like what Amazon.com, EC2 has today, to eventually a better performance, or a cloud that will provide better performance because you now embed network capabilities, and you make sure that when you're with your iPad, and eventually it's your virtual desktop, so you can access to all your Office's applications there, and you're traveling across the country, you don't have to go back to your data center and wait for latency, because guess what? Speed of light, very fast, but still, that can provide few seconds delay, ultimately, when you travel around the world. And if you have the ability to eventually get the distributed cloud something closer to you, which is really what we are doing with Alcatel-Lucent, with our different partners, you can ensure a better quality. And you will move to cloud only if you have the security you're talking about, the performance that you used to, because today with your PC, you build it up, you have all the application right away, and the trust from the cloud provider that you will run. Once you have all these, cloud will be broadly adopted, and performance is one that we are definitely focused on.
That's very interesting. You mentioned a comment about the cloud allows you to test out something very quickly. And I was talking to someone last week that said, you know what,